What is good, y'all? Welcome to Let's Cap. We're gonna dive into the three remaining WNBA games and some games in the MLB as well. Munaf is gonna join me in a little bit. Yesterday, no WNBA. We went to 2-1 yesterday, so I took the Twins on the money line, Twins on the team total over, and lost the Orioles first five team total over 2.5. It was kind of funky because Gunnar hit a home run right before Mateo got caught stealing. So I mean, if he didn't go for that, we would be 3-0 from yesterday. But yeah, that's how things go sometimes. Just gotta keep rolling with the punches. Other than that, let's get into the WNBA real quick. I'm gonna bring up the moneyballer.com. Here we go. All right. So moneyballer.com, bringing up the WNBA games here today. First one, let's go with the Sun and the Mystics here. So we got a couple baller systems on the Mystics. We have the over and under kind of canceling each other out here. Both teams pretty rested, obviously, since the break. Double-digit in-season revenge for the Mystics. So, looking at the schedule, we have the Sun. They have a game tomorrow against Atlanta. They struggled in the last couple games here against the Storm and the Aces. I mean, they won against the Sparks, but I feel like, them scoring 79 against them, I would say that's kind of struggling there. The Mystics, they were off a back-to-back 2 heading into that break. Faced Dallas twice, beat them twice, scored over 90 a couple of times. Scored 81 against Indiana, scored 83 against Chicago, 87 against Atlanta. They even scored 88 against the Liberty. So offensively, they're really they're putting things together right now. I think some of their defensive numbers might be a little bit misleading because of them facing Atlanta and Dallas a couple of times. If we look at some of the ATS splits, first half fade of the Sun is a potential look. 2-5 on the road here in the first half, while the Mystics on in general 11-4-2 in the first half ATS, 11-3-2 as a dog here. Over under, first half unders on the Sun side, but off of a win, Mystics are an over team. They bring some momentum offensively there. Let's look at some of the stats. I'm going to pull last five. Last five stats here. Pace-wise, Sun continue to be one of the slower-paced teams in the league, or the slowest-paced team in the league. Still strong defensively. You can see the Mystics. Their defensive numbers, like I said, a little bit misleading, but still a lot better than earlier on in the season, even without Shakira Austin and Brittany Sykes. Their offensive rating definitely a lot better than before, but also they played the Fever and Dream and the Fever, Dream, and the Wings, who are not the great defensive teams. Offensive rating here, 9th in offensive rating for the Sun. You can see that where they struggle is effective field goal percentage. They're just not making the shots. They are sending teams to the free throw line at a high rate too. So are the Mystics. They're first in turnover rate forced. Mystics are 8th. So this is a spot where the Sun could probably take advantage, as well as offensive rebounds. But the thing is, they struggle. Effective field goal percentage is still a struggle for them. If we look at the Mystics here, scoring 88 a game. I mean, offensively, they've really got some momentum on their side here. 3-point defense. I mean, this kind of cancels out because the Sun have been struggling from 3. So I don't expect them to score a lot from 3 regardless. It's really going to be in the paint and in the mid-range. So you can see like the paint attempts, 3rd in paint attempts, 4th in mid-range attempts. So these are the spots that the Mystics really have to focus and key in on to defend. to me, I think with the Sun playing a game tomorrow, um, I think that the Mystics can take advantage of that late. I know they're only playing the Dream, but they could let off the gas pedal late in this game here, and we know, Mystics, like I said, have momentum on their side. I would look towards the Mystics plus the points here in this game. And I would stay away from the total because the total has come down a lot. I think it's at 152 right now. I wouldn't want to mess with that. I would initially lean to the under, um, but it's such a low number that I don't feel confident taking it. Let's move on to the Aces and Chicago. All right, so we have baller systems on both sides here. We do see the Aces with the rest advantage, even though both teams are well rested here. This gives the Aces a lot of not confidence, but like a boost because they've been bringing Chelsea Gray back into the lineup, and I think extra practice and this rest could help with them getting things back together. I think this is the first road game since Chelsea Gray got back, so that might be something to look into. But I'll show you the trends as far as Chicago as a home dog. So if we look at the Aces on the full game, some of these numbers I think is a little bit misleading, like I said, because Chelsea Gray is just joining the lineup. But off of a win, they tend to let off a little bit. 2-5 against the spread. As a favorite, 5-9. If you look at the Sky, they do well at home in the first half, but they give it up in the second half. 3-5 ATS there. And from a total perspective, kind of the opposite. You can see off of a win, they go towards the under. Sky to the over as a dog, and off of a win. But I think some of this is going to flip over with Chelsea Gray in the lineup. If we go to the last 5 games, we know the defense for the Aces has struggled. But if we look at the last 2 games with Gray in the lineup, you can see that kind of picks back up a little bit. Their offensive efficiency stays about the same. They're scoring around 90 per game, but their defense is a lot better. If we look at the Sky here, the early part of the season, they really looked good defensively. But if you look at the last 5, they've really struggled on the defensive side of the ball. And a couple of things that we could see the Aces take advantage of, right? They're going to be effective regardless of who they play. They're always going to be one of the more effective field goal percentage teams. They get to the free throw line at a very high rate. This is one thing that I think is going to change eventually. I think their defense is going to pick up. We saw the last 2 games they have done a little bit better. If we look at inside the arc, the paint, field goal percentage, and mid range, this is where I feel like the Aces are really going to take advantage of the Sky here. Asia Wilson, I feel like she's going to have such a dominant game. And I know this is a big number. I haven't bet this yet. I probably won't bet it, but I can only look towards the Aces. I think they're going to make, with them being 8-6 at this point in the season, I don't think a lot of people expected that. So I think they're going to come back and really make a whole bunch of statement games coming up and going into the playoffs, leading into the playoffs. I feel like they're going to be one of the more dominant teams towards the second half of the season, on both sides of the ball too, offensively and defensively. So on this game, I would look towards the Aces on the spread. I think the total has come up a lot. I even see it at 173 at this point. So I would stay away from the total. I think if you got it from open, I definitely agree with the over there. So looking at some chat stuff here. Sun -10. So we're on the opposite side there, Justin. I do think that you're one of the better WNBA handicappers that I've seen in the chat. So respect there. Cash the Wings +6. Good job. Dex, I am Filipino. Yes, I am. B Daddy, first half over. Oh yeah. The over. I think over was the best look on that game too. Aces Chicago over 85.5 first half, leaning under. That makes sense to me. I think that. Let's look at some of that real quick. Aces first half over. I feel like I like that look a lot. Both teams very rested. They're gonna come out with a lot of energy. Um, if Aces have a big lead at the half, Chicago is gonna push the pace even further, take a little bit more risks, and gets more opportunity to score. Aces under 163, under 173 and a half. Probably under 173 and a half is what you were saying. All right, let's move on to the last game. Here we have no baller systems on this game here, but we do have the Fever coming in double-digit in-season revenge. Both teams are well rested. Indiana, they've been playing some, I would say, like bottom feeders in the league, so a lot of their numbers I feel like are going to be a little bit misleading. The Storm, they played Connecticut, they played the Aces and the Sun in 3 straight games. So some of their numbers might be misleading as well, facing some of the top tier teams in the league. I think we go back to what we saw a few games before that, with how the Storm do against these bottom tier teams, um, and them just pretty much dominating on both sides of the ball. If we look at ATS splits, uh, first half fade of the Fever here, 3-6-1 off a loss on the road. If we look at the Storm, they do well off of a win. They bring momentum into the next game for the most part. As a favorite, 8-4 at home, 4-2. If you look at the total, always overs on Fever's games. That's definitely a look there. But the Storm, they're a strong defensive team, so they have the under trends. If you look at the stats, let's look at all right. So last 5 games, we know the Fever have played some bottom feeders. We know the Storm have played some top tier teams, and they're still up in the top half of the league in both offensive rating and defensive rating, scoring 84 a game. And we're seeing this Fever team who are 8th in defensive rating against these bottom feeder teams. But if you look at them on the season, dead last in defensive rating. And I think that's what we're going to see here today. I think that the over is the way to look. I think the team total over for the Storm, even better, if you focus in on the team totals for the Storm, I think that would be the way to go. I do think that they reached 90. Last time they faced each other, they scored 103. They scored 103. So I think that the Storm, maybe they don't score 100 again, but I do think that they score over 90 or at least 90. I think that they should be able to cover the spread as well. I think that difference in defense is going to be a huge gap here. I know that the Fever rely on points in the paint with their 2 bigs, but look at their paint defense is one of the better teams in the league. I think Ezi Magmagor is probably going to be Defensive Player of the Year with how she's been playing. And the second chance opportunities here for the Storm are going to be huge as well. So the ways that I would play this game for the Storm, it would be Storm on the spread. I mean, you could either split it up or pick the one that you like the best, but Storm on the spread, Storm team total over, or just the over in general. Because I think we're gonna fade the Fever's defense today. All right. With that said, just a couple more things in the chat here. Yeah, 173. Fever and Seattle over 168. Fever worst defense. Yep, kind of went over that. I know some of their recent numbers is going to be misleading, but they are definitely the worst defensive team in the league. Them and the Wings. Storm -8.5. Gonna add Storm TTO after the show. Yeah, love it. Love that we're aligned right there, Justin. All right, let's move into the MLB. We got Enoch in the building here. What up, bro? How are you?
What's going on, RC, man? I'm gonna try to find a game today that doesn't get suspended or postponed because the last two.
Yeah, we're talking about that. Your best bet keeps getting postponed. It's crazy.
Yeah, but it looks like weather's not too much of a factor today. I know there's not that many games.
Not many games,
yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, let's dive into it. I think there was one game that we kind of keyed in on this morning, so we can talk about that real quick. One second. Where is it at? Live capping. All right, so MLB, and I believe it was, where the heck is it? What game was it again?
The Phillies game, right?
Phillies.
Phillies
There
run
you go.
line.
Yeah, there you go. Miami. All right. So Marlins and Phillies. So this, uh, we agreed on this one earlier when we were talking, but just real quick. So going through Phillies, super heavy favorites right now. At home, Rogers versus Wheeler. Our rating system really likes them here on all aspects of the game. We also have a baller system that backs them. So this is a reason why I took them on the run line. Um, Rogers last few games has looked pretty good. Wheeler coming off a strong start as well. If we look at some of the splits, though, I mean, look, he's just not getting a lot of run support. You can see 3-11 on the season, 2-13 on the full game. The opposite, you look at him as home favorites here, 7-1 on the first five, 6-2 on the full game. Even the splits versus right-handed pitchers or left-handed pitchers, you can kind of see overall the Phillies have the edge there. From a total perspective, it does look like the under could be in play. And you look at the run lines here. Look at Trevor Rogers on the run line, 3-12, and then you can see Wheeler as a home favorite, 6-2. And if you look at the last 30 days for stats, huge significant advantage there on the offensive side of the ball. So if you're looking at it under, it's primarily on the Marlins side. You can see a little bit of negative regression potentially on Rogers right there, and then there is that advantage here on the bullpen too for the Phillies. So a lot of things really pointing in that direction, and you can see why. I took the Phillies, and I think you took the run line too, right? Was it the run line?
Yeah,
The
first.
run line as well.
Sorry, full game -1.5
Minus
for
one
the
and a half. Yeah,
Phillies.
I think it was like I think I got it at like -130.
Yeah, I played it last night when it opened around -120. So,
Oh, you got it
obviously,
early.
yeah. But also, you take a look. I mean, I know first five it's probably like around it's like -175
Yeah.
RC, but I did a little bit more digging. You take a look at Trevor Rogers' 6 starts. Um, this guy. Uh, you take a look at his 6 starts on the road this season.
Mm-hmm.
For those 6 games, the Marlins haven't scored any runs in the first 5 innings in those 6 starts by Trevor Rogers. I think there's only one game where they scored 2 runs, and the other game they only scored 1 run. So, and now you have to go against Zach Wheeler, who's just absolutely dominating right now for the Phillies. But he did have a rough start earlier this season, did Zach Wheeler against this Marlins team. But
Yeah.
again, he's a guy that really does a great job of bouncing back after he does have a bad start. So I don't want to say he's out for some revenge, but
Yeah.
he's just in really good form right now.
If there is a way, like if people don't want to pay the price, you think they could pivot on the team total under?
I
Either.
would think so. Yeah, it's probably 1.5 in that first 5.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you want to take full game, I couldn't talk you off of that. If you're able to find a 3.5, I
Under three and a
doubt.
half would be solid because they've only gone
Yeah,
over that once when he starts. All right, let's actually look at that real quick. So if we go team,
and Marlins full game team totals 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah,
But that would be plus money, right? At 2.5.
the 2.5 over is -125.
Ho ho ho. Okay.
Yeah,
No. But if it's under would be.
unders -105.
Oh.
But definitely shop around. I'm just looking at
Yeah.
DraftKings right now because I'm sure it's out there. Maybe you can find it at even money.
Oops. Okay. So Road Dog, and we'll go starting right-handed pitcher. Nothing super significant at all. But then look at these last few starts for them. Last few games. What was that 9 out of the last 10 have gone under
For the Marlins? Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you take a look at Trevor Rogers on the road this season, they're -3 within their first 5 innings as well. So this should be a comfortable victory for the Phillies here. The only part that makes me nervous, they are coming over from Detroit. I don't think it's a huge flight from Detroit to Philly, but it's.
I mean, I'd be actually worried with this just in over 4.5. Because if you look at Trevor Rogers, I mean, it's like 50-50, right? Over 4.5. Actually, it's only two. There's only two instances where he gave it up over 4.5 on the road here.
I look at first 5 over 2.5 for Phillies if you can find that. They're giving up an average of 3.5 in Raj's road starts this season.
But I think a lot of that would probably be right here, though, right? In my, I'm just thinking about it.
Yeah,
I would actually focus in on more the team total under for the Marlins if you don't want to do the run line. But I mean, this is an instance where it could be something like this, right? 1-3, 0-5, 0-4, like something like that.
Yeah.
In this case,
I think like 4-0, 4-1 would probably be like.
Yeah.
Because the full game totals at 8 right now.
Let's look at them as a dog of greater than or equal to 200. 0-6. And the run line is 1-5. They have not go. Oh, okay. So 3. You said it's 2.5, right? So they've gone over twice.
Yeah.
I think they get. I think they get smacked. I think the run line is the way to go. I think I'm not gonna mess with the total in any way.
Yeah.
If it was 3.5, I would definitely get the under.
Yeah, for sure. I just play the 1.5. I didn't think twice about it.
Yeah,
and he's been really good to me. Justin mentioning the ERA for Rogers against the Phillies. I think it's close to 7. So
got it. Yeah. Oh, he just mentioned that. Okay. All right. So all right, we're aligned on that one. Phillies on the run line.
Yep.
Is there any other game that you took or we're kind of leaning?
I know I mentioned to you we were talking offline the Tigers run line with how great Jack Flaherty has been on the road thus far this season for them.
Got it.
I feel like Angels are a little bit overachieved against the A's this past weekend, or early start the week at least. But
yeah,
Flaherty has just been really, really good on the road for the Tigers. The only concern I do have is, are we going to get enough runs from the Tigers in this game?
Got it. So you said run line, right?
Yeah, run line -1.5.
-1.5. So as a favorite, the -1.5 hasn't been strong for Flaherty. As a dog, you can see he's killing it. First 5, maybe a first 5 look.
Yeah, first 5 run line would be it's -115 right now.
Damn, he's been killing it. Jesus.
Yeah, the home and road splits from are absolutely insane.
So 3 straight road starts have not given up a run.
Yeah.
That's wild. Okay. So last 30 days, unders on the Angel side. What's the total? 8.5. We'll look at this real quick because maybe you could even pivot right on a team total under
for the Angels.
Yeah.
I didn't look at that.
So both offense, yeah. Like, all right. So this is your concern: are the Tigers going to be able to put up runs?
Yeah.
And we don't have any stat. I don't have stats on Daniel.
Yeah, I think this is his first start of the season. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, so 3 straight road games with no runs given up. You would expect some type of negative regression at some point, but with it being the Angels offense, it could not. It's potentially not today, right? Is what you're banking on.
Yeah.
And he goes. How far does he go on his starts? 5 to 6.
So Flaherty on his last 3 road starts, 6 2/3 against the Red Sox. He went, and then 5 each against Rangers and the Astros.
Yeah.
So pretty much right where we need him if you wanted to take him on the run line for the first 5, and he's gone at least 5 innings in every single road start this season.
Gotcha. But the Angels bullpen sucks.
Yeah, and that's why I couldn't talk you off if you want to take the full game. Or the first 5. It's just for me, it's like, okay, if the Tigers only score 3 runs, then you're just hoping Angels don't score anything, or they only put up 1 run at max.
Got it. Let's look at Angels real quick. Team equals Angels. We're starting righties, so they're scoring 2 in the first 5, 3.83 on the full game. And they're at home, right?
They're at home, yeah.
That shit look the same.
Yeah,
Look exactly the same.
they're pretty much consistently.
Yeah. So that first 5 run line is a spot right there. Let's say that there's a dog. First 5.
They're doing a pretty good job of covering the full game run line, though.
Yeah. That's interesting. This one's tough. It could be a 1-run. It seems like it could be a 1-run game at the end. So maybe that first 5 is the way to
First 5 run line.
Yeah.
I think so too.
That one's tough. That was a tough one. What did you have a lean on the total at all?
I'd probably lean towards the under. I don't know what we're gonna get from the starting pitcher for the Angels or how long he's gonna be out there. He did have 3 appearances last season towards the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Walks are a concern for him as well. So again, if Tigers stay patient at the plate and they draw a couple walks here, and maybe get some runners on base, just put some pressure on the pitcher, then they can get runs that way. 3 starts or 3 appearances last year for Davis Daniel, the starter of the Angels. He had a total of 9 walks in about 12 innings pitched. He had one game where he against Minnesota gave up 5 walks, one against Cleveland 3 walks. So there's an opportunity there for sure.
Okay. All right, sounds good. I think that I'm probably gonna skip on this one. This one was a tough one, but definitely look towards Flaherty early.
Yeah.
All right. Did chat bring up any other games here?
Mentioning the couple total plays: Yankees, Blue Jays, and then Cardinals, Reds.
All right, let's go over those 2, and then I got it cut out. All right, so let's go Yankees, Blue Jays. Blue Jays home dogs, Rodon versus Berrios. Rating system does like the Yankees. They got rest advantage. Did they? Oh yeah, because they didn't play yesterday.
Who was this?
Blue Jays.
Yeah, it was like the first or second inning that they got it called. Yeah.
All right, so Rodon last 5. Damn, he got lit up the last 2.
Girl, yeah, I don't have any faith in Rodon, but then it's also the conversation we've been having all week is, do you trust the Blue Jays?
Yeah, fuck their offense.
Berrios has been really good at home though this season. I'll give him that.
At home?
Berrios at home? In particular, yeah.
So he's played Cleveland twice in a row. Gave up. I mean, he's been giving up home runs though. Look how consistent that is.
Mm-hmm.
And Yankees are a power team.
Yeah.
So damn. Okay. I mean, all right. So Blue Jays against left-handed pitchers, unders. They're struggling there offensively. First 5 on the Yankee side has been always a thing so far this season. If we look at the stats, offense to the Yankees, a lot of it is that power that we just talked about. I mean, they're seeing the ball well, right? They're getting the walks. They're not striking out at a high rate. They're just, when they hit the ball, they're just not getting good contact. Pitching matchup, edge to Rodon here. I mean, potential for positive regression. This has to be a Yankees game.
Yeah, and Berrios faced the Yankees 3 times last year. He went 0-3 with a 5.40 ERA. Yankees won all those games by at least 2 runs against Berrios. 2 of the 3 were at home.
What is that noise? 4 straight losses. This goes back far. Now it has to be Yankees or nothing at this point. Did you bet this game?
I didn't bet this game. I just the form that Carlos Rodon is in right now. I couldn't trust him.
Overlooks. Maybe just focus in on the team total for the Yankees.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think that's because that's definitely the way to look at it.
Because if you look at Rodon's numbers, right? like I said, there's that potential for positive regression.
Hmm.
Um, and we know that their offense is struggling, right?
Yep.
So I think focusing and keying on the Yankees taking advantage of the power, right? Because he's not showing to be a strikeout pitcher this season.
Mm-mm.
He's giving up the home runs, and that's the advantage the Yankees have. So if I would bet anything on this one, it would be Yankees team total over or just the first five
Yeah, I
money line.
couldn't even give a first 5 team total over for Yankees as well.
What would that be, like 3.5?
2.5.
Two.
The
So
full
yeah,
game's 4.5. Yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna look into that a little bit more. Yankees team total
And you
over.
get all 9 at bats because they're on the road.
Yeah, I like that one. All right, so one more to go. It was, what was it? Boston? No, not Boston. Where the heck did it go?
Reds, Cardinals, I think.
Reds Cardinals. All right, so Abbott and Mikolas,
Hmm.
lefty versus righty. Rating system likes the Reds here by, I mean, very close, but leans towards that way. There is a baller system on the Cardinals, though. And then we look at schedule. First game on the road here for Cincinnati. St. Louis has been home for quite a bit. Their offense seems to be kind of off and on, struggling. Um, Abbott, last few starts, I think he looks pretty good. 5 innings. Has been giving up some home runs though. Struggled here against the Cardinals. Gave up
Hmm.
6 in his last one
Yeah.
and 2 home runs. Um, did he face them? No. Coming off of a sort of a bad start here, gave up 4 runs, no home runs though. If we look at the splits, full game unders for both of these guys, 4-1 to the under last 30 days. Um, versus left-handed pitchers, 6-2 to the under on the full game, 11-7-1 to the under here for the Reds versus righties last 30 days. I mean that's calling the under out a little bit. So if we look at offenses, what's the total? 8. Oh
Seven
dang.
and a half. I
It,
see
oh,
seven
it
and a
came
half
down.
at DraftKings.
Did it open at 8?
Yeah, I think it opened at 8.
Okay. So I mean, so Cardinals offense is putting up 4.3 runs, but I mean some of these numbers look like they should probably not be putting as much runs as they should. Um, but Abbott seems like he's struggling a little bit here.
Mhm.
Mikolas he definitely has the edge, the starting pitcher edge to the Cardinals. The bullpen seems kind of even. Um, what were they looking at? A total on this one?
I think they mentioned over 8. Let me see if I can go back and find it.
I mean, the trends say
Oh, they're
under.
just asking they're just asking our thoughts on the total. They didn't have a
Oh
pull
yeah,
for it.
yeah. I I would think under would be the way to go here. Under. I mean, if I was to look at a team total, no, I think under. I mean, the trends are pointing to the under.
Mhm.
Nicholas is a pretty solid pitcher. This is what I'm worried about here. Are we going to see negative regression with Abbott? Bullpens seem pretty solid to me. If I was to bet anything on a total, I would think the under. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, Mikolas has been in pretty good form here as well over his last couple starts. I know it hasn't been against I think the greatest competition.
Mm-hmm.
Giants, Cubs. I know they can't hit a lick right now. Pirates are in there as well, but uh, yeah, I would probably look at the under. Maybe if you're able to find that 8, definitely shop around, get that best number, obviously. But yeah, under 8 would be the look for me.
I agree. I agree. I know both of us are in a little bit of a time constraint, so we can cut it off right there. We went through a few games, went through the WNBA, the last 3 games of the WNBA slate, went through some of these MLB games, and it's time to move on to top looks. Let me pull the screen off real quick. Before we do that, themoneyballer.com. Make sure you guys head over there. It's free through the end of July. You can see on the website, both WNBA and MLB. We have all the stats, all the trends available for you guys to dive into. We have the rating system, and we finally have I think we have the WNBA coming out probably the end of this week or by next week. The WNBA new page. So we have the model there for the ballers. We have team total trends, first half full game added to it to the trend section. So that's going to be really awesome for those who like team totals. So that should be there either this weekend or the beginning of next week. So sign up for free, themoneyballer.com. And we're going to open up the Discord real soon. It's free to everybody, but there will be some extra features for those who are ballers, who have baller access. All right, with that said, top looks. Munaf, let's start with you here. What's your top look for today?
Yeah, I think it's the game that we both agreed on. The Phillies -1.5. It just makes a lot of sense. Trevor Rogers struggling on the road. I don't think they'll be able to put up a whole lot of runs up. I know Zach Wheeler did have the game earlier this season against the Marlins where he did struggle, gave up a couple of home runs in that game, but I think he should bounce back here being at home in Philadelphia. So it's a play on Zach Wheeler and the Phillies offense, but it's also a fade of Trevor Rogers. So some of the things that we did talk about in this game. So yeah, Phillies -1.5. I'd see it's up to -135, but I'm more than willing to lay the juice here with this Phillies team.
Love it. All right, so I'm in alignment there. That's pretty much the only MLB game that I did bet. And then when it goes to the WNBA, let's go with it's probably going to be on that Storm game. Storm team total over, I think, is the way they go. I think they're going to score. My projection is 90 plus against this weak fever team. So Storm team total over out of the WNBA, it would be that one. So Storm team total over, and then Phillies run line. All right. With that said, guys, that's the end of the show. You can catch Munaf. Damn, I don't have your Twitter tag. So I'll put Munaf's Twitter in the description after the show here, so you can get linked over and follow him. He has all his shows going on over at SGPN too. I'll actually drop their YouTube link to that in the description as well, because Munaf does a lot of good stuff, not only with MLB, but with all the props going on, and the NFL is coming up. They already started doing NFL content, so that's me that's kind of crazy. It's so early, but yeah. So catch them. You'll see it in the description below. And with that said, I always end the show like this. Whether you fade us or follow us, it is on you to make that call. Good luck with all your actions. Till next time, peace.